What's the hardest thing you've ever done for love? Father Thomas walked into the rectory office, and I was sitting at his desk waiting for him. He had no idea why I asked to meet. For 14 years, I had been a priest at St. Catherine's, and for the past year and a half, Julia had been there almost every single day. She came to early morning mass. She volunteered in the office. She worked with the children during Sunday school. She brought homemade food for the homeless outreach program. She sat with dying people in the hospital and read to them from scripture. I watched her do all of this, and told myself I was just grateful for a dedicated parishioner. But that was not the truth. For 14 months, I had been in love with her, and pretending it was something else, I never spoke to her beyond what was necessary, never asked her personal questions, never gave her any indication that she was anything more than a member of the congregation. I kept my distance because I had taken vows. I had promised God and the church and myself that I would not do this. But wanting her had become the thing I thought about most, more than prayer, more than scripture, more than my own salvation. When her father died, I realized I could not keep pretending anymore. I sat in this office with Father Thomas and told him I needed to step back from my duties. I did not tell him why. I said I was having doubts about my calling. He accepted this without much question, said the church always needed priests, but it was better to leave than to stay with a conflicted heart. 2 days later, I saw Julia at the grocery store. She was in the produce section. She looked thinner than she had been. Her father had been sick for 3 months before he died, and she had been his only caregiver. She spent every moment at his bedside. She missed work. She missed church sometimes, but when she could get away, she came to mass. I watched her sit in the back, and I could see how much she was struggling. When I saw her at the store, I approached her, just walked up like a normal person, instead of avoiding her like I had been doing. I asked her how she was doing. She said the usual things people say when they are falling apart, but do not want to admit it. Fine. Tired. Okay. I asked her if she wanted to get coffee. She said yes immediately. Too immediately. Like maybe she had been waiting for me to ask. We went to a coffee shop and sat for 3 hours. She told me about her father, about watching him get worse, about the moment she knew he was going to die, about how scared she was of being alone. I listened and did not speak much. When she finished talking, she asked me why I had really stepped back from my duties. I told her the truth. I said that I could not be her priest anymore because I had feelings for her that went beyond what a priest should feel, that staying in that position was a lie when my heart belonged somewhere else. She stared at me and did not move. Then she started crying. Not sad crying, something different. She said she had been coming to mass because of me, that she had prayed for it to go away because she knew it was impossible. She said she had resigned herself to just being near me in the only way she could. She said knowing that I felt the same way was the best and worst thing she had ever heard. I asked her to give me time to figure out how to make this work, to leave the priesthood properly and do it with honesty. She said she would wait, that if this was what we both wanted, then waiting was the only thing that made sense. I went to the bishop 3 weeks later and told him I was leaving. I did not tell him about Julia. He told me he understood, that sometimes men realize they are called to different paths. I left the church with no money and no plan. Julia helped me find an apartment. I found work as a counselor at a community center. She started graduate school in social work. We dated for 2 years before I proposed. We got married at the courthouse on a Tuesday afternoon. Her mother was the only witness. We did not need a big ceremony. Julia still volunteers sometimes at St. Catherine's, not in the way she used to. She goes back sometimes to help with projects. I do not go with her. That part of my life is closed now, but I do not regret leaving it, because I found something more real than any vow I ever made.